Welcome to Modern Group of Institution. In practical series BP107P Anatomy and Physiology first, we discuss about microscopic study of epithelial and connective tissue. The contents of today's practical are that object, reference, requirement, microscopic observation of epithelial tissue, microscopic observation of connective tissue. Now, the object, microscopic study of epithelial and connective tissue. Reference for this practical is Scanlon C. Valerie and Sander Tina, Essential of Anatomy and Physiology, E.A. Davis and Company, 5th edition, 2007, page number 67 to 74. The second reference is Totora J. Gerard and Derrickson Bryan, Principle of Anatomy and Physiology, John Willey and Sons, 12th edition, 2009. The requirement for this practical is microscope and microscopic slide of epithelium and connective tissue. Now, first of all, microscopic observation of epithelial tissue. Basically, epithelial tissue covers body surface, lines the lumens of body tubes and lines of most of the body cavity. As a cover, there is free space on one side of the tissue and other cell located on the other side of the epithelial tissue. When look at this tissue under microscopic, one key observation characteristic is to find the white or empty space on one side and then identify specific epithelial tissue, but the shell shape that is on the apical surface, that is on the top surface. The name of the epithelial tissue describes its general structure, the number of layer and individual cell shape. The cell shape on the apical surface next to the free space is used to identify the tissue without regard to the deeper cell shape. Cells are described as squamous, that is flat, columnar, that is tall, and cuboidal, that is cuboidal shape. Microscopically, the different epithelial cell shape can be identified by the amount of cytoplasm surrounding a stained nucleus. The squamous cell have very little cytoplasm and look very similar to an egg sunny side up. Squamous cells are generally flat in shape, whereas cuboidal cell will have about the same amount of cytoplasm from the nucleus to the edge of the cell membrane in any direction, in all directions. While in columnar cell commonly have a lot of cytoplasm between the nucleus and the apical surface and less cytoplasm between the nucleus and the lower surface. Simple epithelial tissue includes a single layer of cell, while stratified indicates there are many layers of epithelial cell. Pseudo-stratified indicate that the cell appears many layers but are actually a single layer of cells. Individual cell may be squamous, that is flat, cuboidal, columnar. Individual cell may also have cellular structure that contribute to their functions such as cilia or microvilli. Epithelial tissue are attached to the underlying connective tissue by a basement membrane. The basement membrane is composed of substances which are secreted by the epithelial cell and connective tissue cell, forming a thin layer marking the margin between the tissue. As you can see in the diagram, the squamous epithelial cell is divided into two, that is simple squamous epithelial cell and second one is stratified squamous epithelial cell. The cuboidal epithelial cell divided into two, that is simple cuboidal epithelium and stratified cuboidal epithelium. And the columnar epithelial cell is divided into simple columnar epithelial cells and stratified columnar epithelial cells or tissue and pseudo stratified columnar epithelium. As you can see in the diagram, in the squamous there is a flat layer of cells. In cuboidal there is a cuboidal shaped layer of cell, and in the columnar you can see a columnar layer of the cell. As you can see in the squamous cell, there is very less difference between the apex and the borderline, and the difference in the cytoplasm is different. At apex it is different, at borderline it is different. In cuboidal, in the cuboidal epithelial tissue, you can see the nucleus is located at the center, and the cytoplasm from the nucleus to the boundary of the cell having the equal amount from all the periphery. Whereas in the columnar cells, you can see the shell are columnar shape, and the cytoplasm from the periphery is different at the apex side and at the basement membrane cell. Now, when you see the simple squamous epithelial cell under compound microscope, you can see this type of structure, as it is a flat cells and nucleus is present at the apex. Now, at the simple cuboidal epithelium cells, when you see in the microscope, the cuboidal cell have approximately same amount of cytoplasm surrounding to their nucleus in all directions. Whereas in simple columnar epithelial tissue, a dark pink nuclei are aligned in a row. As you can see in this portion, the basement membrane separate the single layer of columnar cell from the deeper connective tissue. This is all about the epithelial cell. Next, the pseudo-stratified epithelium cell. The pseudo-stratified epithelium tissue is always located at the free surface. So, scan the outer margin of the specimen to locate it, because it is always present at the free surface. Whereas stratified squamous epithelial cell, it is always toward the basement membrane. The cell become more rounded but are still part of stratified squamous epithelium. The epithelial cell nearest the basement membrane are highly meiotic and producing new cell which replace the dead cells that are constantly slushed off the surface. This is all about the epithelial tissues. Microscopy study of epithelial tissue. Now, microscopic observation of connective tissue. Connective tissue includes a variety of different tissue that function to protect, to support, to bind together other body tissues. Connective tissue are found throughout the body and are the most abundant tissue type present in our body. There are two general characteristics which are common in the connective tissue. And extracellular matrix is present in the connective tissue and having a unique cell. The extracellular matrix is a substance that is located outside the connective tissue cells, whereas the ground substance include water and adhesion protein that allows the connective tissue to attach to one another. Now, the connective tissues are, in connective tissue, the cells are scattered throughout the matrix of the proteins, include collagen for strength, elastin for stretch and recoiling, and reticular fiber for fine collagen fiber. The amount of extracellular matrix and its composition may vary from one connective tissue to another connective tissue. The unique cells of connective tissue are largely responsible for the production and maintenance of the matrix. In many instances, the cells are separated by large amount of matrix, while another connective tissue lies close together with very little matrix in between. You can see example of two connective tissue. One is compact bone. Compact bone is an example of connective tissue, and hyaline cartilage is another example of connective tissue. Now, compact bone looks very much like a cross section of a tree. The rings of the tree correspond to the ring of calcium salt and collagen fiber of the matrix. Each tree is an osteon. Each tree is termed as osteon, a cylindrical unit composed of compact bone. At the center of the ring, there is a space, the central canal, which may have blood vessel or nerves passing through the osteon. Arranged within the concentric rings of matrix are bone cells or called osteocytes. Each osteocyte occupied a own small space. It is termed as lacuna. Extending from the lacuna are tiny canals, canaliculi, which allow the conduct or exchange between the cells and between the osteocytes and its blood supply. It is the major connective tissue present in our body, that is compact bone. The another connective tissue example is hyaline cartilage. Hyaline cartilage is the abundant cartilage present in our body. It is flexible structure. It basically present in nose, larynx, trachea, ends of the bone, and fetal skeleton. Hyaline cartilage is more flexible and less rigid arranged than bone. Each cell, known as chondrocytes, occupy a space within the matrix called a lacuna. The matrix contains abundant collagen fiber, but due to the other component of hyaline, it gives the matrix a glassy appearance. This is all about the connective tissue microscope. That's all for now. In the next practical series, we will study about different another practicals. Thank you very much. Join and subscribe YouTube channel of Modern Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Modern Group of Institution YouTube channel. Thank you very much.